Now we're cooking, check this out. So, we've worked on, let's have a look, see if we can get a little closer here. So, look at that shoulder pitch, that angle of the shoulders. Good shoulder pitch, good shoulder pitch, good shoulder pitch. Legs come in. Right leg, you can see there's a tiny little bit of movement with off the heel there, just a tiny bit. They're the differences I'm looking for. But that shoulder pitch, and I'll tell you where that shoulder pitch comes from in a minute. Again, this is a big shout out to Marcus from Zen Golf. Bang. Now again, never easy just to know whether this would be a great shot on the course, but it felt powerful. And when you've hit millions and millions of golf balls, you know when you've nutted one. So that's that. So what did I do differently that time? What I did differently that time was, there's a concept again, learned from Marcus from Zen Golf Mechanics. It's something he got me on when I had my first lesson with him. It's this board here. It actually works better on a solid concrete floor, but you wouldn't be able to see it if I put it over there. So I put it here. And there's a concept that he talks about if you go on his channel, a hip hike, where your hips, this movement here. Now the reason I liked it to begin with is if you go around in a circle, I found that I couldn't release my pelvis backwards. I couldn't drop my heels without losing my balance because I couldn't release this, well, you could call it the posterior chain. I don't know whether that's just too technical or what, but I couldn't release down through my pelvis, down through my sacrum. I couldn't control that movement without sort of falling over. And again, this is where you've got to remember, it's not going out and buying the latest club that makes a difference. It's about spending your money on a movement coach or somebody that can help you understand your body. So what's this got to do with what I just showed you? Well, this is your hip hike. Okay, now you can do it with straight legs. To me that's easy with straight legs, but as I bend my legs, it's not so easy to control. But if I then go into this position here, and let me grab the club, into this position here, and then if I'm thinking shoulder pitch and hip hike, and then I look in the mirror, and what I see a European Tour player right there. See? Boom. That's what we're looking at. And then if I can maintain that shoulder pitch, what I tend to do at the moment, I feel like I'm still tending to pull in a little bit. But as this leg gets active, and I maintain that shoulder pitch and come round, then all I need to work on is that release pattern. Ripping left, head back, and we might be onto something. So I think for today, we'll call it a day there. I've got now tee off in 50 minutes. I think what I'll do now, I'll just work for a bunch of balls, getting that shoulder pitch, and all I'll be doing today is thinking what will happen on the course when I go shoulder pitch, power in the legs. The only thing that will make this go wrong is if I chase it with my head. Again, something, when I used to be very linear and like this, I have this weird, strange head patterns. And sometimes when I do these sort of movements, and you see it with a lot of people, in fact, you get a GG Golf channel and you watch sometimes when he gets people to rotate, what happens is their whole head rotates. They don't seem to be able to differentiate and have this movement here and be able to sort of separate those two movements. And I don't think I've ever heard any golf instructor talk about this. And I think if someone has a particular unconscious pattern, like for me, I was always very linear, and as soon as someone got me to rotate, I'm looking out here. And so, with this pattern here, with this hip hike, this pull up in this direction here, which again stops me sliding, which is something else we'll talk about when we start looking at front on views. The hip hike and the shoulder pitch, powerful leg. As long as that head stays floating there, and I can release this shoulder down, release under here, under the armpit, you can see I can come into this position here, then I can deliver. And that's what we'll be working on today. And if it's no good, we'll come back and I'll look at a whole bunch of other things that I've looked at in the past and figure out what it will take to get the ball around the course and you know, maintain this handicap. But remember, I'm not interested in maintaining handicap. This channel is about getting down to scratch, so we've got to keep digging in every day, digging in.